The gameplay of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was the heart and essence of how Zelda became the ultimate open world experience. Climbing broke nearly every boundary. The paraglider brought us up to the sky for some time. With the Sheikah Slate we were able to lift objects with magnesis, freeze them and enemies with stasis, and in most instances send them flying. It was even possible to walk on water with cryonis and finally blow up bombs at will. This last mechanic even made its way into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, though we wish more of the brilliant gameplay found in Breath of the Wild was used in that game. Though with the sequel we are facing an inconvenient question, since how much of the brilliant gameplay and mechanics of Breath of the Wild will be brought over to Breath of the Wild 2. The reason to ask this question is that every Zelda game in the past has offered new mechanics, but at the same time taken away mechanics from the previous installments. And it is likely to be the same from Breath of the Wild to the sequel. And one obvious power that might be gone is the power of the deceased champions. What will it be replaced with? The answer is rather obvious. And together with Monster Maze we even made 2 videos on this subject. In this video, however, we'll be exploring deeper how a brand new gameplay mechanic can supplement the other powers greatly, but also elevate the overall experience inside Breath of the Wild 2. But first, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to not miss any upcoming Zelda videos, and press that shiny notification bell for all notifications to beat the ruthless YouTube algorithm. It goes without saying that the most crucial mechanics that define Breath of the Wild will come back, like climbing, the paraglider and so on. But as to the Sheikah Slate, it is another uncertainty. Since you may have noticed that Breath of the Wild 2's trailer lacked Sheikah technology, including the Sheikah Slate. And with the Slate out of commission, it could greatly reduce Princess Zelda's non-weapon based abilities, and thus her probability of being more than just a regular character. In other words, the probability of her being playable alone or alongside Link will be weakened to the degree that I'm not entirely sure if it's worth bringing her alongside Link, though that can naturally be debated. Even so, what we want to explore is the new gameplay possibility of combined play between Link and Zelda. Yes, you heard that right, adventure together, battle together, and through these events bond more and more together. Much of Breath of the Wild was spent collecting memories from 100 years ago, and completing Kar's many quests to realize that Zelda fell in love with Link, but that she wasn't able to show her feelings for her chosen knight until it was way too late. First in the true ending of Breath of the Wild, we see that both are becoming comfortable with each other, and in the reveal trailer of the sequel the two have definitely grown even closer. It is just that we haven't witnessed it, and a brilliant way to turn the relationship between Zelda and Link into something bigger than in any prior Zelda game is to make it possible to interact with Princess Zelda for most of the game. How? By obviously having her next to us when exploring, solving puzzles, and possibly even fighting, just like what was the case when we used the RwanLink amiibo. Just imagine how great this could be. Link and Zelda, just like in the reveal trailer, combining their efforts after being separated for 100 years to travel, laugh, eat, cry, solve puzzles and fight together. And it is the last two that interest us, as in these two areas Zelda and Link could play drastically differently. Now, I know what you may think. No, I don't want to be bound to a character through the entire adventure, limiting my freedom. Well, that's the point, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that, as the plot and gameplay of Breath of the Wild 2 can develop in different directions. Say that we start playing with Zelda, but later on split up to either end up back to playing alone as Link, or maybe as Zelda before teaming up again later on in the game. No doubt, this could reinvent and offer a very fresh gameplay experience and a completely new way to traverse Hyrule, together or split up alone as Link and alone as Zelda. Kind of like the Zelda timeline with its split branches. Joking aside, this would be a shakeup that would actually be a continuation of what we saw in Breath of the Wild and its DLC. Yes, in the era of the Wild we played alone as Link. What happened in most of the memory cutscenes? Link was first following and later questing with Zelda, both on foot and on horseback. Then we had scenes where Link was alone with the other champions inspecting the divine beasts. But also, in the Champions Ballad, cutscenes are memories of Zelda, along with the other champions, but also returning the Master Sword, where you guessed it, we had Zelda alone. Thus, being together and alone as Link and Zelda is nothing new to Breath of the Wild. It is just that it hasn't been applied to actual gameplay Yet. One of our, and actually many others, greatest complaints about Breath of the Wild's memories was that they weren't playable sections leading to a cutscene at the very end. Breath of the Wild 2 could change that. And now that Zelda is more than willing to face her adversaries, as we have seen in the reveal trailer, it is more than likely that the Zelda team was also teasing that the perfect match of Link will work together also by means of combat. It is just that Zelda needed some more time than Link to warm up to this task, but in return will have more at her disposal, like her scientific knowledge and experience in physics and chemistry, and naturally, sorcery. The latter is an ability that Link in turn might have to warm up to, and which Zelda has mastered. In other words, we have two potential fields of struggle for both. Zelda with combat and Link with Zonai sorcery, which finally brings us to the question of how fighting together could work. Putting it very simply, here we have an enemy in the middle, Link on its left side with his Zonai arm, and Zelda on its right side with the Sheikah Slate, which as we all know she reclaimed in the ending of Breath of the Wild. The end. Just kidding, there's more to it than that, like possibly switching at the whim with the D-pad between Link and Zelda, just like we were able to do in Final Fantasy VII's remake combat mode between Cloud and Aerith, in chapters 8 the budding bodyguard and 9 the town that never sleeps. Two lovebirds traversing, exchanging life experiences, having fun, and most interestingly, aiding each other in combat. You know what? This could be the perfect opportunity to turn Zelda from a pure scientist to a scientist that takes advantage of her science in her combat style. How about that, Sakurai? Say Link attacking and taking the brunt of the damage inflicted by enemies, and Zelda healing him to replace Mipha's grace when that is needed. Most likely since Mipha's grace will be gone. This goes in particular when facing malice-infused enemies, which Link might have to focus his Zonai power to break the malice barrier, while Zelda distracts said enemy with attacks and sorcery of her own while also shielding Link from damage. That would be absolutely perfect, in particular if Zelda finds a way to further add new runes to the Sheikah Slate, as she probably will be able to press something more out of it. Though even without the Sheikah Slate, Zelda might have a bigger role to play, protecting Link when he is vulnerable during potential malice-breaking sequences. Naturally, if it's the other way around and Zelda is pressured or, say, paralyzed, then Link might step up in order to protect her, just like he did against the Yiga in that famous cutscene or the many monsters in Elden. Supporting each other in difficult situations through gameplay and not only cutscenes would help develop the story and love quest established 100 years prior, and also add a layer that we haven't seen in Zelda before. A semi-permanent difference in gameplay where we have a stronger Link with an emphasis on heavy sword-based combat, brute Zonai force through his hand, while Zelda could be a weaker but also lighter and more agile character who excels in archery, lighter rapier and saber-like weapons, and naturally magic, sorcery and healing. Magic was missing in Breath of the Wild, replaced with the physics-bending Sheikah Slate, but without it, magic gameplay could make a grand comeback, both through Link's new power and Zelda's well-known magical powers. Naturally, this could also require separate inventory sets, which we actually could benefit from, based on how many times we found a weapon and had our inventory being full. Dropping good weapons, bows or shields was never fun, and suddenly you need a torch in a cave or a deck you leave to sail on a raft, and you don't have it. Alternatively, you can just do it like in Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you get a new item that you don't want or need and can't sell since it's Zelda, then give it to Zelda. Obviously, as we have previously established, not all weapons will be exchangeable, but some could go for both. Okay, so we got Link and Zelda identified. Now we need to see if switching between the two is possible outside combat and weapon requiring situations, say for solving puzzles in dungeons or roaming the fields and hills of Hyrule. The first example that naturally comes to mind is the command melody from Medley and Makar in the Wind Waker, but that was tedious. Instead, it makes more sense to have intelligent character AI which you only take control or command of when it is absolutely necessary. Obviously, we could bring up Final Fantasy VII Remake again, but we will not, as there are better examples from Breath of the Wild, namely Yunobo's climb up to Death Mountain and RwanLink. Yunobo's AI work for a shorter bound segment, but for Zelda, that is likely not to suffice. Hence RwanLink makes more sense, as he followed and attacked alongside you. He could trek you around much of Hyrule's map, and it is really surprising that they put so much effort into this AI and then locked it behind an amiibo, especially since you can also feed him, which brings up another form of activity Link and Zelda can share. Don't worry, Zelda will not be degraded to being Link's dog, as she would probably slap Link for that. Instead, we have something different in mind, namely heart-to-heart cooking sessions, where Zelda will partake in the process and exploring the culinary world with Link, and then talk to him and comment on his dishes. A great way to interact with Zelda outside of cutscenes and combat situations. Also, Zelda could talk with Link to NPCs in longer dialogue exchanges if more NPCs will be voiced in the sequel. There's just so much potential when it comes to having Link and Zelda questing together that will benefit both story and gameplay. Let's not forget that the Zelda team has the masters of this type of gameplay and Monolith Soft helping them out. Perhaps it is time to let them do more than just designing the open world, but also let them have some involvement in gameplay and even the development of the plot. Monolith Soft, only when it comes to Xenoblade Chronicles, has a decade of experience when it comes to party-based AI and interaction between these, so they can definitely contribute to the creation of a fresh Zelda experience in the same setting as found in Breath of the Wild. Even so, I think we'll set the line here as to what Link and Zelda will do together outside of combat. But yes, I think there's no obstacle for Zelda to climb cliffs or paraglide with Link, as she is even lighter than him. After all, shorter hair isn't only a benefit in combat. When it comes to the exploration of the open air, switching between Link and Zelda on the whim would be a perfect way to satisfy both camps, those who want to play as Link and those who want to play as Zelda. But what if you want to play as just Link or Zelda without the other around? That could be entirely possible, as we saw from the scenarios 100 years ago. Say that at a certain point in the story, despite the tight bond, Link and Zelda have to go in different directions, or there's a location like Link's home where we for some time can drop off Zelda or Link and go side questing in Hyrule solo. The key to Breath of the Wild's gameplay was after all freedom, and this is a classic extension of that vision. Play the way you want with these two remnants of the once proud kingdom of Hyrule. Some more linearity is to be expected, but to still make the experience feel well crafted and varied, why not have Link exclusive, Zelda exclusive, and even co-op dungeons? The same approach can be given to minigames or even specific story segments to strengthen the bond between Link and Zelda in Breath of the Wild 2. Gameplay can be used to much, and with the already existing blueprint and AI, the Zelda team can go wild with implementing new ideas and breaking more and more conventions on the path to Ganondorf. But what do you think? Should Breath of the Wild sequel expand its gameplay to this degree, or should it remain more grounded and similar to Breath of the Wild? Sound off in the comment section down below. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the Commonwealth Realm, and also press that notification bell, and again for all notifications to not get tricked by the YouTube algorithm and not miss any upcoming Zelda and Breath of the Wild 2 videos on this channel. Finally, a big thanks to you for watching and to all our patrons, who you can also join on patreon.com/commonrealm or by pressing the join button here on YouTube to become a member. Anyway, until the next video, why not enjoy one of these two awesome videos?